Semantic features of Islamic translation, part 2. Last time we talked about how to consider semantic features in translating Islamic text. We talked about what to do before you start translating the text in terms of identifying the type of text, the genre of the text, the history of the text. And today we'll talk about the different types of meaning. We have two major types of meaning, denotative and connotative. Denotative meaning is a direct meaning of the word. You can find that direct meaning in dictionary. For example, you can search for the word cow, the word book, the word home. Home, for example, you can find the meaning of the word home or house in dictionary. But sometimes we have another type of meaning, which is called connotative. It's indirect. It gives emotion, feeling, the associated senses of the word. For example, the word home could give different or more meaning than the one found in dictionary. For example, home, where you can find, for example, comfort, where you can have privacy, okay? So you can find, for example, more meaning for any word, or many meanings can be activated in context. House or home or cow or book or whatever can give direct meaning or can give different emotional meaning or different kinds of meaning, like, for example, what's your attitude toward that meaning. So now we'll come to the different types of meaning. An example of that, for example, the word die. Mata means die, but sometimes we say pass away, and another time we say kick the bucket. So what's the difference between pass away and kick the bucket, everyone?
I think kick the bucket is informal comparing to the others.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. Informal, and also what? Informal.
Disrespectful, something like that.
Disrespectful. Great. Who said so? Who's speaking?
Iyas al-Qahtani.
Yes, great. Yes.
We are speaking at the same time.
So when you don't like someone on who, so you can say he kicked the bucket. So in Arabic, can we put it in Arabic? Kick the bucket. Shabab.
What?
How can we put it in Arabic?
Kick the bucket.
Kick
the bucket. Matt. Huh?
Can we put it as Matt? Kick the bucket. What about pass away?
Halak.
Pass away is more form.
Yeah, good. Halak could be a classic, an equivalent of the phrase "kick the bucket," but in our slang language here in Arabic, what can we say? Kick the bucket in slang language.
ولا
this is a classical as well.
عندنا كذا احنا بنقول فلان ولا وراح.
ولا. Okay, good. Yes. What about pass away?
Pass away is form.
مين قال يا دكتور؟ زال انقضى.
توفى يعني.
توفى. Or what? Can you give more meaning for the phrase pass away?
انتقل إلى رحمة الله.
Yes, very, very good. Okay, so just one word, which is die, can give different shades of meaning and can be interpreted differently based on that classification of meaning. Do you want to give the direct meaning, or do you want to flavor the word with different emotions, different attitudes, right?
Yes.
Now we'll come to the types of connotative meaning. We talked about denotative and connotative meaning. Now we'll come to connotative meaning, because this type of meaning, or the types of meaning, could be very useful in translation. Leach, he's a linguist, and Dickens, a linguist and a scholar of translation, they give an extensive account description of the different types of connotative meanings: attitudinal, associative, affective, elusive, collocative, and reflective. Attitudinal meaning, for example, the translator may express his or her own attitude towards an issue in the text in a way that doesn't clash with the source text and makes use of the overtones and the company that words keep in the target text. For example, the word homosexuality. This can be translated into شذوذ جنسي or مثلية جنسية. It depends on what attitude you have towards that word or that concept. Are you with or against? If you think that homosexuality is offensive and shouldn't exist in our community, so you will use the first option, شذوذ جنسي. But if you are with, or if you don't care, and if you don't want to show your attitude, you can use مثلية جنسية. So the first phrase شذوذ جنسي is like you see is offensive, is not acceptable, but the second one is acceptable, right? What do you think?
Yes. The first one is then the second one is with or agree or neutral, like
Yeah,
you don't have any.
you're right. So here we talk about the attitude of the translator. Both of them are correct, but what's your attitude towards that concept? You can reflect your attitude by your word choice, right?
Okay.
Associative meaning. Or before we come to associative meaning, we can go to affective meaning. Affective meaning is quite different from the attitudinal meaning. Here we consider the attitude of the addressee, the one we speak to. Unlike our attitude to the concept of homosexuality can be reflected in our word choice. Here also we can consider the attitude of the addressee, the one we speak to. For example, in English, if we translate أعطني هذا الكتاب, give me the book. If you put it that way, give me the book, it could be impolite. So we need to make it more polite to the addressee, to the one you talk to. You can say, for example, may I have this book, please? Or can I have this book, please? So you consider now the attitude of the speaker, right? Or the reader of your text.
Yeah. May I have this book is more
polite. So you are considering now not your attitude, but the attitude of what? Of the speaker, of the reader, right? Now we'll come to the associative meaning. The word could give different meaning when associated to other words or other concepts. For example, the mental picture of a given word in a certain situation may give it extra negative or positive shades of meaning, or any sense, or any other sense. For example, crusade, حرب صليبية. The word crusade to the West is positive, and they use it in their speech spontaneously. But the word حرب صليبية, which is the translation of crusade, to us is very negative, like exactly the word jihad. The word jihad to us is positive. The word jihad to them is negative. What do you think? Is the word jihad to the West positive or negative?
No, negative. Because
Negative.
What about us in the Arab world? Is the word jihad negative or positive?
No, negative.
Negative.
positive.
Neutral.
Cross the negative and jihad is positive.
It's now becoming negative because of it is associated with some group of people who call themselves jihadists, but the word originally means something positive actually, and it's used in the Quran, in the Hadith, in our literature positively, right?
Yes.
We have got, for example, different types of jihad, like internal jihad, jihad in-nafs, right? Which is positive.
Right.
To stop yourself from doing bad things or abstain from anything that God forbids. This is jihad, right? It's positive, but forget about the different meaning of jihad, which has been used among the different groups or different parties in the Muslim world. We talk about the original meaning of the word jihad in our literature, right? Which is positive,
Right.
but to the West, it's negative all the time. Now we'll come to another type of meaning, which is elusive meaning. The connotative meaning occurs when an expression evokes an associated saying or quotation. For example, فهم يبايعونه على الالتزام التام بالإخلاص والثقة والسمع والطاعة في العسر واليسر والمنشط والمكره. Here, the writer used في العسر واليسر to recall to the reader the Quranic verse إن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا, to give strength to his point, to make his point close to the Quran. So he supports his point by referring to the Quran and copy the style of the Quran, right? This is called elusive meaning, and this could be used in all in many contexts and many situations. And we do it actually every day when we support our point from by using words from the Quran or copy the style of the Quran or the Hadith. This is called elusive meaning. We support the meaning we use by referring to the Quran and the Hadith text. Right?
Right.
Now we'll come to collocational meaning. What a word means often depends on its association with certain collocates. Some words can give different meaning when they are associated or when they co-occur with other words. For example, the word undertaker, which originally means one who undertakes a task, one who does a task. When you do something, you undertake that a task or a given thing, for example, an action. When you do an action, you undertake that action. It's neutral word. But which this originally, the word undertaker originally means one who undertakes a task. But now the word is restricted to only one sense, which is frequently used in a negative.
Cemetery.
Yes, in funeral. It refers to a funeral undertaker. Do you know that word, funeral undertaker? That phrase?
Yes, the one.
Yes,
the one who buries the dead, right?
Right.
So that word became even, you know, the famous wrestling, the Undertaker. Do you know him?
Yes.
Yes, Mark Calloway, Doctor.
Yeah. Okay. So we started to avoid using this word because it often co-occurs with a word which is negative. So we try to avoid that negative word, right? Now we'll come to the reflected meaning. It's a meaning that evokes another sense of a given word or phrase in the hearer's or listener's mind beyond the basic sense. For example, the word far is translated as rat or mouse. But if we look at that word, for example, the word fa in Arabic could refer to the small animal, which is fa, mouse or rat. But also, if you call someone as fa in Arabic, you mean that what sense do you have in mind if you call someone as fa in Arabic?
He's a cheater
always
or
like
something weak.
coward.
A coward, yes. But in
Coward.
English, if you call someone a rat in English, yes, if you call someone a rat, what do you
He
call?
snitches.
What do you
يخبر
what do you
الجميع
mean?
يعني بشيء.
I think the same يا دكتور.
Is the same if you call
He-
someone in English a rat, he's a rat. Is it like we use in Arabic?
The
No,
most common
he does not keep secrets.
He's
Yeah.
what do you call a snitch?
So someone who betrays his friends is called a rat in English, right?
Right.
But this sense is not common in Arabic. If we call someone a rat in Arabic, we mean that he's a coward person, right? Okay. But in English,
Yes.
he is a betrayer. He deserts his friends, right?
Right.
Now we'll come to another level of semantic or meaning, another level of meaning to be considered when translating a text. This procedure is called comprehension analysis. Like in morphology, words are decomposed into its minimal morphemes, and then you piece together the morphemes into to get the whole meaning. For example, if you have a word, you need to divide the word into suffix, affix, and root. Here we divide the word into meanings, minimal, meaningful units, and then you piece together the meanings to have the overall meaning. For example, the word die could be divided into become, not alive, and the word kill become, not cause to become not alive unintentionally, and murder cause to become not alive intentionally, illegally, and execute cause to become not alive intentionally, illegally. So the difference between kill and murder is that we have intention in the first and the second one. And when you have intention and kill someone by intention, so it's called murder. So how can we translate kill and murder into Arabic? Yes, everyone.
قتل بعمد.
دكتور
Yeah, exactly. Kill is قتل.
قتل بعمد يا دكتور.
Murder قتل عمدا. So
يذبح.
in this way we can use this method to translate any word that is very close to the other. Look at how we can make distinction between kill and murder, intentionally or unintentionally, and also between execute and other word like murder or kill. Legality, is it legal or illegal? Execute, يعدم, should be it's legally done, right? But murder is illegally done. In this way you can make distinction between any word which could be synonymous. Now we'll come to apply this method to two famous concepts, فتح and الفتح والغزوة. We have to make distinction between the word الغزوة and فتح. The word فتح, Islamic conquest, or فتح مكة, conquest of Mecca, is commonly used among translators of Islamic text, but I think we need to have a look again at what we mean by al-Fath al-Islami and Fath Mecca. If we have got the word غزوة, غزوة has been used and translated by in the Islamic text as conquest. And al-Fath is also translated as conquest. But the word conquest in the English dictionary, it involves suppression and oppression, entering or attacking anything harmful, launching campaigns for mischief and plunder. You attack people, you kill without any justified cause, you encroach upon the rights of others. This is very negative, conquest. And if you look at the word ghazwa, what the Prophet did from Badr up to Fatih Mecca, you will find the word ghazwa is used to describe what the others did. It describes the attacks, the war launched against the Prophet and the Muslims in the early Islamic state. Who started the war? Did the Prophet started the war in Badr?
No.
Uhud? Al-Khandaq?
No.
The people who started attacking the Muslims and the Prophet were the non-Muslims, the Quraysh people, right, at that time.
Yes.
But when the Prophet started the war in Fatih Mecca, it was called Fatih. So what the Prophet did during Fatih,
attacked them.
He attacked, but did he kill? Did he plunder? Did he encroach upon the rights? He said,
no, he didn't.
Go, you're free. He set them all free, right? So, and it was called Fatih, right? So what we call, how can we translate Fatih Mecca? We can say, for example, the liberation of Mecca, right?
Yes, liberation.
We can't call it the conquest of Mecca because the conquest is very negative. In this way, if you decompose the word into its minimal meaningful units, like for example, conquest, here we have got intention, bad, in territory, foreign, enter. Here, bad is the main item of the main meaningful item here to use, and here in Fatih, intention, good, territory, foreign, enter. You'll find here the difference between conquest and Fatih is the intention itself. Sorry, is it good or bad? Are you attacking people for a good reason, for a justified reason, to liberate them or not? So, in Fatih here could be translated as liberation, but the conquest is negative.